Hello, this is Linda Hiemer, and welcome to the webinar. I know your time is precious and valuable, especially as we prepare for the holidays and the end of the year. So I will probably talk for about 20 to 30 minutes, then have a brief question and answer period, either via chat or our question and answer icon box using this webinar. We will also be recording it and archiving it. So you can request a copy and a transcript, and it will be available for if some of you have to drop off early. So thank you for your interest in the program. If at any time I do not adequately answer your questions or you'd like to speak with me privately, please feel free to email or call, and we can set up a time for a meeting and make sure that your questions are answered promptly. So again, I'm Linda Hiemer. I'm the Senior Director of Graduate Law Programs for Seattle University School of Law. I do have a law degree, a Juris Doctorate, which I earned from Penn State, and a while ago when we still wore shoulder pads. I then practiced law in Alaska for approximately 12 years, and then about 18 years ago I entered higher education, both as a law professor and in graduate and doctoral level programs. And my specialty is online teaching and learning and online academic operations. So this is a perfect fit for me at Seattle. I am new to Seattle, this is just my first complete year. Prior to that, I was at Vermont Law School, where I oversaw the online programs, both at the master's and JD level, and also was a member of the faculty teaching on campus. If you were to call this number here today, 206-398-4268, it would ring in my office. Please don't call right now. But again, when you are seeking information, you will get my direct line. If I cannot answer your call promptly, I will return it, and I also get a voice message through my email. So I do my best to return all calls within 24 hours, or at least within 24 business hours. The agenda today, we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions and why continuing our education, and preferably continuing our education with Seattle University School of Law, is a wonderful plan for the coming new year. The application deadline is January 3rd, but I encourage everyone to get it in as early as possible. Now be mindful in the application process. We do ask for official transcripts. Specifically, we're most concerned about confirming that you have earned a bachelor's degree, which is the minimum eligibility requirements for this program, or that you've earned degrees from any of the institutions that you represent, both in your application and your resume. Now, the official transcripts do not have to be submitted at the time of your application or with your application. We are just required to receive official transcripts for your file and for verification on or before the term start date. And the term start date is January 13th. So what I would suggest is, if you are interested in applying, and to conserve time when you submit your application, also go to your institutions, usually online, and request electronic copies of your official transcripts be sent to us. The admissions committee is meeting regularly and will oftentimes makes decisions on applications within 48 hours and sends email notifications with an electronically transferred offer of admission. And again, we can make that decision before we receive your official transcripts, but your final enrollment and registration into the courses to start just requires an official transcript. So, why us? Well, we're pretty proud of the program. I rarely will say why you shouldn't go to another school. I'll really talk about what benefits we have. There are other institutions that have quality programs, both law schools and graduate level schools, but we think we have an interesting mix both in that we're founded on a Jesuit Catholic tradition. So we've been educators for nearly 500 years. But also in Seattle, we have that innovative global Pacific Northwest mindset. And with all the tech companies and the regulatory, the environmental issues, the global issues, we think we have that right mix of tradition and entrepreneurial spirit. Also, if you look statistically at jobs, both compliance officers, risk management, some of the highest paid professionals, the top 3 cities and states in the country include Washington and the Seattle area for jobs related to risk management and in the compliance fields. So we're excited about the industry demand and the opportunity for growth in this space. So we are confident that you will learn from leaders in this field, both as scholars and practitioners. You'll benefit from the tradition that we have in Seattle and its growing global economy. We hope that we can support you in achieving any of your personal and professional goals. And again, with the new year, 2020 vision rather than hindsight, you can achieve and seek new opportunities. So with 2020, we have designed this program in response to student requests and demands and industry demand. And interestingly, some of you on the call may already have, but I know our enrolled students, some of them already have law degrees, but are seeking a master's in legal studies related to compliance and risk management. Why? Because there's an interesting mix in this kind of program of being able to see and solve problems through the lens of the law, but also it marries a business sense and acumen that often lawyers don't learn. Lawyers learn about laws. When we think risk, we think about avoiding litigation. We don't think about risk to a business reputation, risk to customers. So we actually have enrolled people who have earned law degrees into this program because they see an opportunity to transition into corporate work or regulatory practice, and they also had gaps in their knowledge. So we have this great mix of giving you some business acumen, auditing, operational and strategic planning, along with being able to interpret and understand the law. So it's exciting, and we see a growing field in demands for legally trained professionals who don't necessarily require a Juris Doctorate or need to have a admission to a bar. So how is it designed? Well, you have to earn 30 credits, and we've designed it fully online and part-time over a trimester model. So it's a 2-year program where in each term you would take 2 courses totaling 5 credits that complement each other all the way to the end. We have 4 phases for these 6 terms, and we identify these phases as the foundation, operation, a concentration or specialization, and then action. So in your first term, the required courses are to study legal analysis, research and writing, as well as the American legal system. And then you phase in the operational phase for your second and third terms are also required mandatory courses. So that includes foundations of regulatory compliance, risk management and auditing, contract review and policy drafting, and organizational investigations. So there's a great mix of theory, practice, and skills building. We want to make sure that as you proceed through these courses, it's dynamic, rigorous, and relevant to what you're doing. And this program is designed to cross myriad industries or opportunities that you are seeking professionally. So as we transition to your second year and your concentrations, I want to assure you that you are not required to select a concentration or declare, like you would in undergraduate programs, declare an elective. We do have our electives focusing in the highest demand areas, of cybersecurity, healthcare or health law compliance, corporate compliance, and finance. But you don't have to select, and any student can take a myriad of electives based on interest or professional consideration. And as you see in many of the course descriptions, they're complementary. Certainly, for example, if you're working in health administration, you have to now have a knowledge of privacy and cybersecurity. Similarly, if you're working in a corporate environment, maybe even in human resources, an awareness of healthcare regulations, HIPAA. So those things are all required. So this program is really designed to give you the knowledge and the skills and values to enter into almost any industry and be able to research and interpret the regulatory statutes that are involved, respond to the external or internal auditors or regulatory bodies, and make informed decisions on behalf of clients, customers, employers, shareholders, whatever kind of company you're working in. And we know that daily regulations change. We know that regulations can change with a morning tweet. So to have the kind of agility and insight into the legal system and how laws are enacted and the policies behind them just helps you to be a more agile and productive member of any team. The final phase, your last term, you will complete a capstone and a final elective. Capstones are usually a project that you will design based on your interest or specialization if you have one. It also can serve as a project for an employment portfolio, but more information can be forthcoming privately or as you enter into your program. We do find that some people enter thinking they're interested in cybersecurity and have a great course or a professor and may want to transition to a different track. So we want to have that kind of flexibility. Additionally, we see that regulations are constantly changing, and in response also to prospective inquiries, we might open up other concentrations or electives as the program grows. There's this, we want to have a dialogue with our students, our faculty, employers to make sure that this program stays timely and relevant. So, just as an overview, it's 30 credits and we charge per credit. For this academic year, the tuition is currently set at $1,200 per credit. It's over 2 years, 6 terms, and you pay per term. We do have, for eligible students, we offer financial aid, student loan planning and guidance, and based on the submission of the application, there is availability of some partial merit scholarship. It's a pool of funds that is offered. Unfortunately, it is towards the end of the year, and we give them out based on an applicant's basis. So if you are interested, I would encourage you to not wait until the January 3rd deadline for the spring for your best opportunity to be eligible and considered for a partial merit scholarship. This is a rather detailed slide, but what's important to note is the current academic year tuition averages out to approximately $6,000 per term in base tuition. What's great about financial aid is the federal government allows the borrowing based on the cost of living, including textbooks, room and board, and travel. Even though you're online and you may not need to borrow, there is an opportunity to borrow more than just base tuition or base fees and textbooks. And that's something that we can talk about, and our financial services team can consult you. But the term starts January 13th, so that's less than a month away, and it's just an exciting spring that we're looking forward to. And this is an example. Some students see it on the website and get sticker shock and say, the cost of attendance is $11,689. No, that is just what the federal government allows as a calculation for the amount that many students can borrow. It's not your actual cost. Some students, again, may have less debt and less tuition. The spring semester estimate for fees and costs is approximately $6,000. So, if you are interested, you do not have to wait to apply to check on financial aid, but I encourage you, apply. There is no application fee. You have no obligation if an offer is made to enroll, but it's better to get your application in early. Simultaneously, you can go, if you are interested in financial aid or exploring the opportunities for borrowing, you would want to go to www.fafsa.gov. Our school code that you would plug in is 003790. In addition, our financial services team is ready to support you and answer any questions. You can call them directly at 206-398-4250. You don't have to share with me what your New Year's resolution is, but I do hope that part of that is continuing to be a lifelong learner, achieving your professional and personal goals, and considering Seattle University. So, next steps, please apply for admission on or before January 3rd, and I would encourage you to apply as soon as possible. Our campus administrative offices will be closed for a holiday break from the end of business, December 20, this Friday, through January 2nd. Now, my team will be checking emails, responding to questions, but the admissions committees and other support staff will not be available to actively participate in completing your process and your enrollment until after the first of the year. So the sooner the better for consideration and for you to enjoy your holidays. So please apply for admission, then submit if you are interested in seeking financial aid or other funding. You would want to submit your FAFSA and contact our financial services team for consultation. Again, we will respond promptly to your inquiries and application, being mindful again that our administrative offices will be closed for approximately 10 days over the holiday. Application deadline for important dates, again, January 3rd, but don't delay. And then classes, the new term starts January 13th, 2020. We offer our learning management system is through the Canvas platform. Many people who have taken online courses might be familiar with other learning management systems such as Blackboard, eCollege, Desire to Learn, or Moodle. It's the same kind of thing with it'll have a familiar setup. We have module systems where you proceed through the class approximately one module per week over a 14-week term. And then we offer approximately a month off in between the terms so you can have some personal time and just decompress and get ready for another term. So we try to design this program as conveniently as possible for working professionals. So again, if you have any questions or you'd like further information and to speak with me directly, my phone number is 206-398-4268. Some of you may have also had an opportunity to speak with Dr. Kay Rollins, my colleague, who provides admissions counseling advice and has many years' experience, both in advising and teaching online and working with people through their entire academic life cycle. So Dr. Rollins is also available to assist. So I do open the floor now for the submission of any questions through our question and answer icon box or the chat. Again, please do not share any personal or information in the chat room, but you're welcome to ask any general questions that you would like answered at this time. I will give it another minute. I don't see a signal that anyone is typing in any questions. And true to my word, I spoke for about 20 minutes. I hope it's been informative and helpful. Again, I'm enthusiastic and passionate about both our mission and this program in general. And one of the things I'm most proud of is the students we have been attracting. We are a small class size by design, and you do have an opportunity to get to know fellow students from many different industries, and I think it just enriches the classroom and just adds value both to the professor and to your learning environment. Our current cohorts, for example, have students who work in financial compliance, maritime, IT, cybersecurity, aviation industry. So it is an exciting, and it just brings some different perspectives to the classroom. And one of our attendees has asked if we hear from recent graduates. Actually, this program is new enough that we don't have recent graduates from our online Masters of Legal Studies. We do have graduates from our campus Master of Legal Studies, but not yet the fully online program. Seattle University School of Law and the broader Seattle University community has an active alumni base, and actually many of the professors that you would engage with in this program are alum. The enthusiasm for both the culture and the mission in the greater Seattle area and beyond is really fabulous. And I do hear from our campus-based master's students, and I'd be happy to any prospects out there who would like to speak to a current student. I do know I'd be happy to connect you, either if it's a similar industry or if you just want to hear what someone else's experience is, because this is not just about marketing and selling. We are so proud of it that if you are interested in speaking to a student, I could get proper permissions to share some contact info. And that's beyond a testimonial. So I think the opportunity to build relationships with fellow students, both in the classroom and beyond, is also something that makes our program unique. And as far as where our students are, in both our campus programs and our online, the majority of our master's and graduate level students are already working professionals when they come to us, and what they're seeking is to advance within their current companies or within their industry. And what they found is they may have many certifications and experience either in compliance or risk or strategy or human resources, but that they may not be able to move up to senior leadership without a master's degree, or they've moved up through the ranks into middle management and realized they know their industry, but there's a gap in knowledge when it comes to understanding law or policy. So many of our students are not coming here seeking jobs, even though we do have career services. Many are already working professionals just seeking to advance. And again, do our students say having the degree helps with their career? We hear that even from our current students before they've earned their degree. I don't know how often I'll communicate with a student, either in outreach or in them chatting to me and saying, oh, it's wonderful, I just had learned to draft, for example, the legal research memo in legal writing, and I had a memo that I had to give and then present at a board meeting, and they were and my employer was so impressed. So again, the opportunity is, I think any master's degree helps to advance a career, but the knowledge you are gaining and the skills you're gaining in this type of program is transferable immediately, and then hopefully upon graduation. I will be honest that the Master of Legal Studies, in other words, non-Juris Doctorate degrees from law schools, are relatively new, less than a decade old, and I liken it to many years ago when there was just doctors, physicians, but now we have physicians' assistants, nurse practitioners. We do recognize the growing need for quasi-legal careers, people trained in law, policy, and advocacy and legislation who aren't necessarily interested in attending law school. And there is there is an opportunity for brand awareness from employers and for graduates. One of the biggest questions I get from prospects is, should I go for an MBA? Or should I get this degree? And we hash through that, we discuss it. So there is a broader opportunity, and I think the space is just growing. And there is support. We do have a career services division, and we post jobs. We have different workshops that help with cover letters and resumes. But again, the majority of this program is designed not for people who are just starting their career. It's still available, but really we find that a lot of graduate education, the greatest enrichment is for people who have a few years and into their careers and have some sense of a career path. But I'd be happy to speak with you specifically or connect you with some of our career professionals to make sure that this is the right program for you, and to make sure that it would help you achieve the goals based on your interest. I hope that answers your specific questions, but I'd really need to know more about you, your educational and career backgrounds, to make sure that the program would help you achieve those, or that we have the services that you would expect. I don't see any typing, so I'll give it just about one more minute and then we can end. Again, I encourage you to contact me directly or Dr. Rollins at 206-398-4268. We do have the Apply Now button feature, electronic application on the website. Some prospects, some applicants say they get stuck on the personal statement. We often tell people, just if you had 2 minutes with the admissions committee, what is it you would like the admissions committee to know about you, why you might have chosen this program, or your professional goals? And that's really what we're looking for, just something beyond what might show up on a transcript or an application, to get to know you and to make sure that our program is a good fit for you. It's not, so, you know, some people might think, oh, I have to apply, am I fit for the program? But really, we want to make sure that we can earn your expectations and help you achieve those. Okay, there's no further questions that I see. If I have missed a question, I do apologize. I encourage you to call me or email me. Thank you so much for attending today. I wish you, your family, and your loved ones a joyous and safe holiday season and a happy new year. And I hope you apply and really seriously consider joining our community. Thank you and be well.